Hi, this is Jody from SOLAS VGM, and in this tutorial video we'll show you how to manage your organization and add new users into the application. So once we've logged in, we'll be presented with the overview screen. There's currently no activity in the system, but hopefully once you've invited more users to join your internal ecosystem, we'll see a lot more activity. So on the left hand side of the page you'll see a menu bar, and at the bottom of that menu bar you will see organization. Once you've clicked organization, you'll be presented with the information regarding your company. The standard details, the users which are in the ecosystem already, which is just myself at the moment, the addresses which have been added to the ecosystem, and the various roles and permissions groups which have been already created. The roles permissions group is where we will focus the majority of this tutorial on. Ultimately, it lets you create different groups within your company allowed to do and perform different tasks within the system. So as an owner, you have the ability to do anything. Invite more users, create new addresses, update and amend bookings, and basically take into consideration or use the entire functionality of the system. You may have an export document group which is responsible for the VGM, submitting, verifying, collecting data from the load points or from the supplier to submit your VGM, and they can perform functions which are around the entirety of their specific processes. You may also have individuals at a warehouse or a site that are creating VGM data such as the net weight, tear weight, and container numbers, and providing those through the system to yourself. Or you may even have truck drivers which are searching for bookings, updating container numbers, and creating the verified gross mass and submitting them to you into the system. I've created 3 groups already, but it's simple as clicking add. Now, once you've opened up a new organization to create, we can, for instance, call this one trucker. You can decide what level of authority that they require. So for this instance, we won't allow them to create any organizations. We'll only allow them to read any roles. We won't allow them to add any users to the systems. Neither will we allow them to work on or amend any affiliate addresses. We won't allow them to perhaps create any bookings in the system, because that'll be updated via other internal users within your organization, but we will let them perhaps read, albeit we allow them to update and read containers within the system that will add to new bookings. So once I've saved that, we'll see a new user group be created under the roles and permissions section of organizations. So now we're fairly confident with what we've created in our organization or ecosystem. We decide that we want to start inviting users to collaborate within these groups within our organization. So we want to invite somebody to basically look at VGMs in its entirety between truckers, drivers, and the warehouse, and for that we have the export document group. So under users, we would go to invite user. We would put in the email address of that user. We would add it into the pending list for the invite, so you can add multiple addresses this way, or you can also upload a text file containing multiple email addresses based on this functionality to save you time from having to rekey. So once I've requested that the email address be added to this group, I then decide what role we would like to assign to that user and to that email address. So for this instance, we'll click on Export Document and hit Save. So in the bottom left, right-hand corner, we see that one user has successfully been requested to join the system, and under Users, we can see that a few seconds ago we've just sent an email to the individual to review the request to join the system. You can also delete invitations and refresh times associated to the invitations, or resend it to the user, so that we don't have to go through the same process once again. So now I'll go into the user's email account, and we can see the two requests which we have sent to the user. So at this stage, the user would go into the email, they would accept the invitation, and that was the earlier token that we had sent them. So let me just go back in and find the latest one, which should be this one here. So there we go. Create the account once entering the user's details. So the account has been created. We sign in. And we now have another user on the system with the relevant permissions which we have associated them with. So as you can see, this user cannot edit any details of the organization, the users, or manage addresses. And now if we jump back to the administrator's account and refresh the organization, we can now see that we have a new user within the system and that there are no more pending invitations to the system. So this process can be repeated via using bulk uploads, creating roles and management groups within your organization, and one functionality that we will be adding to the system in due course will be a template for companies which you can basically just work through and add users to those specific permissions. But I'd like to thank you for watching the quick tutorial. I hope this gives you a good overview on how to add users into your system, and any questions, please don't hesitate to contact us. Thank you very much.